The old Victorian house loomed ominously over Hollow Creek. Its sagging porch, cracked windows, and overgrown ivy seemed to whisper tales of long-forgotten horrors. The townsfolk had long avoided the place, but the recent unexplained occurrences had pushed them to their limits. They needed help, someone who could uncover the truth behind the haunting. That's when Victor Stone, renowned paranormal investigator, arrived in Hollow Creek. Victor stepped out of his dusty black van, his piercing blue eyes scanning the area. He was a tall, middle-aged man with salt and pepper hair and a rugged demeanor. His reputation preceded him, and the townsfolk gathered around, their faces filled with hope and trepidation. "I hear you're the man to solve our ghostly problems," Mayor Thomas said, extending his hand to Victor. Victor shook the mayor's hand firmly. "That's right. I've dealt with hauntings far worse than this. Now tell me everything you know about these unexplained occurrences." The mayor led Victor through the town, pointing out houses that had been plagued by strange happenings. Objects moved on their own, eerie whispers echoed through the night, and some claimed to have seen apparitions lurking in the shadows. Their journey brought them to an old bookstore nestled at the edge of town. It was owned by a reclusive woman named Abigail Evans. The bookstore had been at the center of many rumors, with whispers of witchcraft and dark rituals that dated back centuries. Victor pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside, the musty scent of old books engulfing him. Abigail, a frail old woman with haunting eyes, greeted him with a mix of apprehension and curiosity. "I've been expecting you, Mr. Stone," Abigail said, her voice trembling. "The spirits have been growing restless." Victor raised an eyebrow. "What do you know about these hauntings?" Abigail led Victor to a hidden chamber beneath the bookstore. It was filled with ancient tomes and occult artifacts. As they descended, the air grew heavy with a sense of foreboding. "These hauntings are not random," Abigail whispered. "They are the result of a curse cast upon this town centuries ago." Victor listened intently as Abigail revealed the dark history of Hollow Creek. The town had once been home to a powerful coven of witches. When their nefarious deeds were uncovered, the townspeople revolted, executing them all. But before she died, the coven's leader, Isabella Blackwood, placed a curse on the town, vowing revenge. Determined to lift the curse, Victor and Abigail delved deeper into the mystery. They pored over ancient texts and consulted townsfolk with knowledge of Hollow Creek's past. They discovered that the key to breaking the curse lay in the coven's final resting place, a hidden cemetery deep in the heart of the nearby forest. Armed with knowledge, Victor and Abigail set out into the woods, the moon casting an ethereal glow on their path. As they reached the hidden cemetery, a bone-chilling wind whipped through the trees. Shadows danced among the gravestones. They discovered Isabella Blackwood's tomb, covered in symbols and incantations. Victor knew he had to perform a ritual to break the curse, but he needed a special artifact to complete it. They returned to Abigail's bookstore, searching desperately for the missing piece. Finally, hidden behind a dusty shelf, they found a pendant imbued with powerful magic. With the artifact in hand, they returned to the cemetery. As Victor began the ritual, a swirling vortex of energy formed around them. Ghostly apparitions materialized, their mournful wails echoing through the night. The curse was fighting back, desperate to hold its grip on the town. But Victor stood strong, channeling his energy into the ritual. The pendant glowed, its light overpowering the darkness. The curse weakened, and with a final burst of light, it shattered, vanquished forever. The next morning, the sun shone brightly over Hollow Creek. The townsfolk woke up to a sense of peace they hadn't felt in years. Victor bid farewell to Abigail, knowing he had fulfilled his duty. As he drove away from Hollow Creek, Victor couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. The case had been challenging, but he had prevailed. And though the town's dark history would never be forgotten, it was finally free from the haunting of Hollow Creek. Months later, Victor received a letter from Mayor Thomas expressing the town's gratitude for his help. The once divided community had come together, rebuilding the trust and unity that the curse had torn apart. But as Victor read the letter, a sense of unease washed over him. He couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't quite right. He decided to return to Hollow Creek, driven by his insatiable curiosity. When he arrived, the town was bustling with activity. The townsfolk greeted him warmly, oblivious to the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. As Victor delved deeper into his investigation, he stumbled upon a hidden journal that revealed a startling truth. Isabella Blackwood's curse had not been fully vanquished. It had merely been weakened, and now, with the town once again thriving, the remaining descendants of the coven had resurfaced, seeking revenge for their fallen ancestors. Victor knew he had to act quickly. He gathered a group of trusted locals, forming a makeshift alliance against the returning witches. Together, they unraveled a web of deceit, betrayal, and ancient rituals. As the moon reached its zenith, the final confrontation took place in the heart of Hollow Creek. The witches, cloaked in darkness and surrounded by an army of vengeful spirits, unleashed their malevolent power, but Victor and his allies fought back with unwavering determination. They chanted incantations, wielded protective charms, and harnessed their own latent psychic abilities. A battle of wills ensued as light clashed against darkness. In the end, it was Victor's cunning and resourcefulness that turned the tide. He devised a plan to disrupt the witches' connection to their ancestral magic, severing their ties to the curse. With a final surge of energy, he shattered the source of their power, banishing the witches and their malevolence from Hollow Creek forever. The town, exhausted but victorious, celebrated their hard-fought triumph. Victor, his work complete, bid farewell to the townsfolk, knowing that the haunting of Hollow Creek had finally been put to rest. But as he left, he couldn't help but wonder if some remnants of the curse still lingered. The echoes of past horrors had a way of resurfacing when least expected. For now, though, Hollow Creek basked in newfound peace, its dark history gradually fading into whispers carried by the wind.